Jburton here, and today I'm bringing you my part 2 of my Holy Pally PvP guide for 6.2.3. This will include your overall role in the arena, some of your how to use your defensives, some of your rotations, and then just some general tips and tricks. Okay, so let's get started. Now, some of the reasons people would want you as a Holy Pally is because you can live a lot longer than other healers. For example, a great comp is TSG, Warrior DK Holy Pally. I'm not saying this is the only way the comp works, but it's a common way. It's where the Warrior and the DK just go herp dirt burst on the enemy healer. And a lot of times the other DPS will charge you. And it comes into which healer can survive the longest. In this case, if it's not a Holy Pally you're versing, there's a good chance you're going to win. Now when you get in the high ratings, people are going to know this, and they're, instead of going on you, they're just going to CC you and try to go on one of the DK or the Warrior and slow them down. That's okay. You're prepared for that. You have ways to get out of CC. I'll explain about that later. And you can keep blessing of freedoms on your teammates to keep them on the healer. You're also great for casters. Just because blessing of protection is a big deal. You can pop this on one of your teammates when they're about to burst, so they don't get interrupted. So you can turn hand of protection into an offensive ability instead of defensive. Same with Devotion Aura. You know, immune to interrupts and silences, reduces all damage taken. It doesn't have to just be defensive, you can be offensive with it. They can avoid CC, like because of Hand of Sacrifice. Pop it on somebody, you get polymorphed, you're going to take damage from Hand of Sacrifice, you'll get broke. Same with Frost Trap, Fear. Handling defensives, first I would recommend be human. I don't like recommending that, I hate it. But it's helpful. Now in Legion, it's not going to be a big deal. You know, you can be probably whatever spec you want to be. Well, I'm sure there'll still be better specs than others. But anyways, not spec, race. Race. I'm being racist. Okay. But starting off, this trinket here, it's only a 1 minute cooldown. The Badge of Dominance, and it gives you a lot of versatility. This is a good damage reduction and healing increase. This is the first, defensive I would pop before anything else. It lasts for 20 seconds, which is a while. And you can, as I said, damage reduction and healing increase. Pretty nice. Now, if that didn't work, you can move on to your next thing, which is Execution Sentence. You can pop this early. It's a 1 minute cooldown. And it's a huge amount of healing. If it doesn't get purged or anything, it's a huge heal on you, and you're going to be fine. Especially you just LOS while you have that up around a pole. You'll be great. Now, if that didn't work, then you got another 1.5 minute cooldown. Your Avenging Wrath. This one, you should never really die having this up. Never ever. Increases your healing by 50%, haste and critical strike chance by 10%. Now, I'm using the glyph and the talent that affects it. That's why it lasts 1.5 minutes, and the effect lasts 30 seconds. Since it is a 1.5 minute cooldown, it's going to be up quite a bit, but you don't want to use this first. You want to use the first two things that I said, because this lasts 30 seconds. So after you've used these three things, your Badge of Dominance, your Execution Sins, and then your Avenging Wrath, it'll have already been 1 minute, and so your Badge of Dominance will be back up. And then soon your Execution Sins will be back up. And then not much longer, your Avenging Wrath will be back up. It's all about rotating your cooldowns effectively. Now, if those don't work, you still do have some of your bigger ones, like Devotion Aura, Divine Shield, Hand of Protection. You can use those too, but just don't use those first. You don't want to blow those early on. Save them. And just keep rotating through your low cooldown defensives. I forgot to mention Divine Protection somehow. I don't know how I did that. This one reduces magic damage taken by 40%. I really only like to use this whenever somebody pops some burst, like Dark Soul, Mage goes Icy Veins. It doesn't really help versus melee unless you glyph for it, which you'll take 20% less damage for 8 seconds. Still not amazing, but not bad. It's up to you. So, Holy Paladins, unlike other classes, Holy Paladins have a lot of low cooldown defensives, and it's really effective. Just a little tip with Execution Sentence, when you do use it, you want to try to get as many magic buffs on you as possible. So make sure you do have Blessing Kings or something up. Just keep another purgeable item up there, and then pop your Sacred Shield. So you got another purgeable item. You know, a Holy Shock, Flash of Light. So now, you see I've got all these magic buffs up here to try to help them avoid hitting my Stave Execution. Like I said, if you can keep that on you full duration, you're going to get huge amounts of healing from that. Now, Devotion Aura You don't ever want to use this early. Never, ever, ever, ever use this early. Once all your low cooldowns are on cooldown, you have nothing else. Pop Devotion Aura. You can free cast. And you take 20% less damage. And this applies to everybody. So it's pretty helpful. Now, you can use this offensively, as I said. Let's say if you have a mage, he's got all his cooldowns up. He's like, hey bro, I'm ready to do some deeps, but I need you to help me out here. So you're like, okay, cool. I can pop Devotion Aura. That'll help you, get 6 seconds of uninterrupted casting. And everybody will be taking 20% less damage, so this means you'll have less healing to do, and you can go more offensive with your denounce. Okay, Devotion Aura ended. If your mage didn't get the kill, but he thinks he still can, toss a Hand of Protection on him. If there's melee. That's close to 16 seconds of uninterruptible damage. Not bad. Not bad. And then of course, your Divine Shield, you want to save this as an absolute last resort. Never use this early. It's a 5-minute cooldown, unless you glyph it or talent it, which is a 2.5-minute cooldown. So you want to be smart with it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you're low on health, you are low on health and the enemies have an interrupt available, like it's up, you don't want to hard cast to heal. If you get locked out of a holy spell, guess what? You can't Divine Shield until that holy lock is over. So you will die. That's why I really recommend this add-on called Omnibar. Omnibar. It allows you to see enemy interrupts. It shows when they're off cooldown, or if they did use them, how much longer till they become off cooldown. You can also make it where it shows enemy bursts and such. Really helpful. I really recommend that as a healer. So if the enemy has all their interrupts on cooldown, like they can't use them, don't bubble, just hard cast. You can free cast. Now if you get stunned, yeah, you're going to need to bubble. But that's good. You'll make them waste the stun, opposed to just bubbling early. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Okay, avoiding CC. Hand of Sacrifice, as I mentioned, but I'll go a little bit more in depth. It's a 2-minute cooldown, but you get 2 charges if you take Clemency, which I recommend you do. Since it is a 2-minute cooldown, don't just pop it at the start of a match. Like, if you know a mage is going to try to polymorph you, just sit through it. You only want to use these whenever you think the enemy can secure a kill. Okay? That means when your teammates are out of defensives, and you're about to get a full polymorph, or a full frost trap, or a full fear. That's when you want a Hand of Sacrifice. Use these just when you absolutely need them. Now, Hand of Freedom. Obviously, if you're getting attacked, you'll probably want freedoms on you, just to get away from people. But if you're being CC'd, you might as well have them rolling on your teammates. Make sure your freedoms are just always being used. That's not true. If your teammates are popping their bursts, that's when you want them to have freedoms, or when they absolutely need a kite. Another thing to consider here is Turn Evil. This is an ability that's overlooked quite a bit. It's actually really useful. If you have a Warlock pet sitting on you, and his interrupt is up, but the healer isn't falling for you, or the Warlock isn't falling for your jukes, Turn Evil on that lock pet. If you fear it, he can't interrupt you. And there's a good chance he'll be out of your LOS when he gets out of the fear. The lock pet has to be in your LOS to fear you. So that can help. And also, versus DKs, I'm pretty certain when they pop their Lichborn, you can fear them because they become undead. And versus Unholy DKs, their pet, whenever he goes into like the Abomination form, you do want to fear him. Because that's a lot of damage. And if you fear him through that, that's annoying. And it's only a 15-second cooldown. You can also fear the Gargoyle as well. Gargoyle is some pretty good damage as well. Yeah, so fear, fear, fear. Don't overlook that. Now, Beacon of Light. I'm sure you've all versed a Holy Pally before, and you're like, wow, he doesn't run out of mana, and I'm or some situation like that. That's because Beacon of Light. When you use this on yourself, and you're getting hurt, and you have to heal yourself, you're getting 40% of your mana back. If you're getting CC'd and they're on the Warrior, or whatever teammate, use it on that Warrior teammate, and just heal them, and you'll get 40% mana back. This allows you to not have to worry about running out of mana from doing Dispels, or Denounces, or spamming Flash of Light instead of Holy Light. Beacon of Light is important for mana regen. Some other little tricks here. Usually you'll be behind like some pole or something, LOSing people, and you'll have a pet on you. Some kind of pet. Well, just use Crusader Strike on them. This will allow you to generate holy power really quickly. You know, smack, 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 and then of course, Holy Shock. You'll be at 3 charges of Holy Power so quickly. And that allows you to get more of your Word of Glories out there, which from your from your 2 set, no, which one is it? 4 set piece, you'll get that damage reduction, which is 15%. So that's really important. When it comes to procs here, from your Holy Shock proc, I usually use it with my Holy Light, just because it is a more efficient heal, and it makes the cast time really quick. Make sure you're denouncing everybody. Not only will you steal their critical strike chance, so you'll have a higher crit chance, meaning higher healing per second, but you'll also make it where the enemy can't crit, so you're lowering their overall DPS, making it where you have more time to just keep denouncing. That's really important, especially when somebody's bursting. Like, you see a Feral pop his burst, you pop an denounce on him, you're gonna piss him off. It's great. And of course you have an interrupt, but you do not want to run out of your pole, like run out here, be like, I'm gonna interrupt, and then now you're out in the open, getting ready to get CC'd. Don't do that. Use it smartly. All right. I apologize for this guide being kind of mumbling almost, jumping around. This is like the 3rd time I've recorded this video, so I think I'm just gonna stick with this one. If you guys did enjoy the video, please comment, like, or subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. And I hope you found this helpful. Alright, see you guys.